Sometimes you just want to kick an ass.
It's
Sometimes that is the only thing you want to do.
it is all the sometimes the greatest thing in life is connecting your fist with something else.
Preferably somebody's face.
Or ass, depending.
That's more of a foot thing, but you know.
I mean, regardless. Anyway, Reborn to Master the Blade. It's a pseudo isekai, but really just like the guy gets reincarnated.
Far enough away though from his original time that everything is foreign to him, so it might as well just be an isekai.
Yeah, I mean he's a master of he got blessed by an angel, and he can use something called aether, which is this light. It's essentially light magic, and he kept those after being born, which is where we start, and first thing she does is a laser beam eye laser a dragon.
Yeah, it just blows him right the hell up, and everybody's just like, oh, well, cool baby.
Yep, and then
baby just killed a dragon.
But
not gonna talk about it though.
Well, nobody saw it. That was the main thing. So then it's like she's like 5 years old, and she's good best friends with her cousin, and she has an older cousin who has like this really special rune. It's a big deal. Like you get a rune, it's your big master magic thing.
Yeah, didn't he get like it was specifically a special one?
Yeah, it was a really special one. But they're all training, and some asshole kid shows up and starts fucking with people because he can use a little bit of magic. So she steps in and just floors him.
Yeah, he's like, so his magic's like, oh, if you look me in the eyes, basically I can like, I can just sort of cheat a little bit. Like I'll change your movements just ever so slightly.
Mm-hmm.
And like Inglis, the main character, she tries to warn her cousin, like, hey, just when you're fighting him, don't look directly at him.
Yep.
And he almost wins, but like he runs into a wall.
Yep.
So then, yeah, she's like, how about you teach me some things with the sword? Definitely not evil guy. And she just kicks his ass.
Absolutely. And then it cuts forward to stuff I legitimately don't remember. But basically what we learn is that Inglis, who is our main character, but doesn't feel like our main character, well, first off, she's basically Goku. Every character trait that belongs to Goku belongs to Inglis. She is here to fight and eat. That is it. Those are the only two things that matter.
Yeah, pretty much.
Her cousin is basically like super righteous. Basically has all the main character energy, but you know, it's really just about Inglis getting her fights, which she is constantly denied.
Also, there's a part where she's getting her rune, and she's like, I see how this works. I don't want to get locked into some of this stuff, so I'm just going to opt out of having a rune.
Just gonna push it all away so I don't get a rune and nobody notices. Like, she literally forged her... the reincarnated soul was an old dude who basically forged his own kingdom. And so he was like, I wish I'd gotten the chance to just...
to kick an ass.
Hone my craft. Become a better fighter. And it's funny because it's like Reborn to Master the Blade, but most of what she does is punching and kicking.
Yeah,
which I think is so much better.
Her sword breaks in like the second episode, I think.
Yeah.
She fights the Hyrule Menace. I know that's not how it's pronounced. I don't care. I like calling him the Menace.
Oh.
Basically, these super strong ass knights from like the Highlands, this floating island, and like she fights one of them. I'm pretty sure that's where she breaks her sword, and then she's just like, "Well, never using a sword again."
Yeah, fuck that shit. They can't take the force that she's able to generate, but she does have a habit of blasting things with. It's a Kamehameha wave. Like, it's blue. It comes out in a beam.
Yeah.
But she does also have a habit of punting things.
Yeah, so the guy she beat in the sword fight, he comes back and he's like, haha, I am a Highlander now. Check out my symbol.
Yeah.
Lights a dude on fire or something. It's like, I can't believe that man died of a strange disease right in front of me.
Oh, man. How terrible.
And English is like, okay, I guess to spare everybody else the embarrassment, I will go to your place and we'll settle this.
But she really just wants to fight.
Yeah, no. So she gets into a fight with the Hieromenace, which is a different girl.
There's so many of them.
And
she gets in a fight with one of the generic ones, and
she shows her the extent of her power, and then she's just like, "Oh, I guess I don't need to help
and
you."
then she's like, "But the fight! I wanted to fight."
Then a dude with lightning lions shows up, and he's like, I'm joining the bad guys.
The quote-unquote bad guys.
I'm joining the guys who hate the people up there in the sky.
Yeah, because they're bad. And he's got taser gauntlets, and he does the thing that you would do with taser gauntlets and punches them together as lightning arcs between them. It's actually kind of cool. And then he summons lightning lions.
That explode on impact.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Highlander guy gets turned into a giant monster, because that's the way to defeat them, I guess, is turn them into giant monsters who cause more collateral damage.
Yeah, they do it several times.
And so English punts him with the help of the menace girl.
Yeah.
So she can be like, look, they can't know that I can do this. I'm gonna give you all the credit, but I'm gonna go kick that guy's ass.
She really drops that pretense pretty quick once she gets involved in more and more stuff, where I think just her fucking bloodlust overtakes any form of sense.
So yeah, they defeat that guy, and then we get like a time skip, like 3 more years, and they go to this town, which is being like the leader of the town is another Highlander who's like, yeah, I'm actually stealing everybody's life force so I can lift the city into the sky.
Well, she's not doing it. There's just a giant rune under the city.
She's overseeing it.
Yeah, and she's like,
I'm not the bad guy, I swear.
And she's like, I know I'm doing a bad thing. I don't feel good about it. And then they turn her into a giant monster with eyeballs that shoot heat beams, and then a guy in a mask shows up and is like,
I'm the leader of the Bloodchain Brigade.
And English cannot beat him. He's actually stronger than her, which of course gets her all sorts of excited. And then he's like, alright, fine, you don't want to kill her, we'll shrink her down to fun size, and you can have her.
We'll make her a little tiny fairy, and she'll just, like, ride around your cleavage.
This show loves the main character's boobs. It gets kind of annoying, because, like, they deal with other characters a bit more tastefully, like when all the characters are, when all the major characters are, like, in their sleepwear, the only one showing cleavage is the main girl.
But that's okay, because it's actually a really old guy.
No? I mean, I did like the moment where his internal monologue is like, I used to leer at girls when I was younger. This is what it felt like. Oh god, I'm so sorry. This is awful. And I'm like, oh, that's actually kind of cool. I like that. And so, although what's really awkward is that her older cousin, who's a guy, seems to, like, not be able to... Clearly seems to have a thing for his cousin, and it's like, this is a little creepy.
It's fine. It's not fine.
It's not fine at all.
But we're not going to talk about that.
Well, because he barely shows up.
Yeah, you think a guy with a legendary rune would fucking be like...
Well, but he's a part of the big, bad super knight people, and his cat, Hyena Menace, is having issues and keeps summoning...
keeps summoning the demons.
Keeps summoning really shitty-looking wolf monsters, which will culminate into a thing. But... yeah, so the rest of the plot then decides it's all going to be about this cat girl who's really good with guns and like uses like old looking gold revolvers and
don't put too much mana in front of her, she'll eat it and then poop out a wolf.
Yeah. And so they basically the rest of the plot just is about figuring out what's wrong with her, dealing with it, and everything to do with basically how Inglis is fight sexual. The only thing that matters is where are the asses and how can I kick them.
So basically at this point, like, the Highlanders are like, okay, obviously your menace is actually a menace, so we're gonna take her out and we're gonna replace her with a new shiny one.
We're gonna swap out your broken light bulb because your current light bulb is summoning dogs.
And so this
like every metaphor really kind of breaks under these circumstances.
So they send this really shitty child out.
Oh, he's an absolute turd.
And he's like an archlord. His name's Evil or Evil. I think it's Evil.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Evil Knievel, but an 8-year-old is an absolute piece of shit and likes to cut people's faces and arms.
Yeah, he's got some dark magic that he can just, like, cut things, and it's stupid.
It's yeah, and he can also like make like
an annihilation barrier where if you put your hand in it, you lose your hand.
Supposedly, but of course Inglis can just like deal with it.
She makes body armor essentially, and she's like, "Yeah, go ahead, cut my arm off. Let's
do it. Try, please, try and cut my arm. Do it."
So Evil's doing a stupid hand gesture.
Just 2 fingers, just like flailing all over the place and can't cut her. And so she's like, well, maybe can I... Well, he's like...
I challenge you to a duel. And
hit me. And she's like, alright. Or eventually we get around to the point where it becomes okay to hit him. And,
he sets up a stupid annihilation field, and she's like, look, why don't you just focus all that in one point? It'll be stronger.
And he's like, well, why wouldn't you just hit me anywhere else? And she's like, if I wanted to hit you already, I would have hit you. Now just concentrate your bullshit. I want a challenge.
And then he gets punted out the window.
Just skyrockets at a 45-degree angle out of the building, and everyone's just like, what the fuck was that? Because the quote-unquote good bad guys are here blowing up the Highlanders battleship, and yeah, he just goes skyrocketing out of the plot for a bit, where she's just like, ah, damn it. Didn't mean to do that. My bad.
Anyway, there's also the side plot of we're going to get all the demons out of the cat girl all at one time.
We're going to feed her so much energy that she'll have to summon every single whatever the fuck they're called, magicite beasts or whatever.
Yeah, demons.
She's gonna summon every monster in attack position. We are going to deck her out. All 40 cards will be played. And they're just having a time. And they finally... Taser Fist Man shows up and he's like, I'm here to help. Because his lions do a fucking suicide pact and all blow up on a couple because the barrier... They have a sword that makes a pocket dimension. It's a thing.
It's a really cool sword, though.
It's not cool.
It changes size.
It just extends.
That's cool.
It's pretty dumb. It's an excuse to be lazy with the combat. But it is
you're
funny.
You're not wrong.
And the entire time, because she did it with a different sword too, and the entire time I was making jokes about, like, at some point it'll just stop working, or it'll, like,
It'll flop over.
There were a lot of dick jokes to be had. But, yeah, so the pocket dimension fails, but Lightning Taser Fist Man shows up and throws a wad of mana at them, and
rice ball.
It fucking splats on the ground, and they all get their energy back.
And he's like, okay, now take my mana, cat girl, summon the biggest demon you can.
What's left? What's the last fucking hairball clogging the drain? And, well, it turns out it's that fucking meme Chad dog, the big buff fucking Shiva or whatever, and it's just that, but it's got a cape. And
that doesn't make it any better.
No, it doesn't. And it's got, like, rainbow shit going on. And we didn't even talk about Yua.
Yeah, we kind of skipped a whole lot of the,
because I'm trying to, like, race through it.
Yeah, I know, I'm just saying, we skipped a whole lot of the academy part.
Because the academy doesn't matter.
But yeah, I know, there's this girl named Yua. She also fights with slaps. And she's the best character, because, like...
She's super powerful, and she doesn't want to do shit.
She's super powerful and super tired.
The most lazy. Like... Doesn't even bother learning people's names, just gives them shitty nicknames.
Based on their looks. Like, there's a guy with glasses, your name's Glasses.
Yep.
Anyway, there's a part where one of the demons is just, like, falling on her. This is before the big demon fight. And they're like, no, you gotta move, you gotta get out of the way. And she just, like, slaps it out of the air.
Just chops it.
And then continues walking.
Just keeps walking across the yard. It's great.
But yeah, no, so she goes to slap the big demon, and she just gets absorbed.
She punches it, goes in, and is like, yeah, that didn't do anything. And it's like, what? Your fist is literally in it. And then she's like slowly moving inside it. She's like, I think I'm being absorbed.
Hey, guys, maybe
can you do something?
Maybe rescue me ASAP. Thanks.
All of her delivery is like flat. It's magnificent, and she's just like half face into it, like, please help. and they managed to put like a barrier around her, and then
we go back to English. She's fighting the Blood Chain Brigade leader,
the guy with the mask who also uses Aether, so he's clearly been touched by an angel, so to speak, and he's still stronger than Inglis because he can make a barrier and
a great sword.
Pop a fucking lightsaber. Like Inglis could like make a crystallized sword out of Aether, but he's got like a full fucking lightsaber. It's pretty stupid.
So midway through this fight, the awful child, Ivel, shows up again.
Yes.
And Inglis is like, okay, look, guys, you two don't have to fight. Why don't you both fight me?
Like, I'm just offering. Like, I'd enjoy it. And so one of the members, who's another hyena,
another menace,
Hyrule hyena, and she turns into a rainbow spear. Because that's her thing. She uses spears, and she can
use portals too.
Yes, she thinks with portals, and they basically make the child vanish like one piece at a time.
Yeah,
it's not even bloody. It's just I'm fading away.
Yeah, it's like taking a paint tool and just spray painting him away, essentially.
Yeah. And
it's kind of sad, actually. It kind of looked.
It's very clearly like we can't horribly murder this child. That will get us in a lot of trouble, so we have to vanish him. But luckily, there was the excuse for it because her thing was about like moving things other places. It makes sense that he can just portal him away. But they said he's dead, so he's dead.
Yeah, well, I don't care.
I don't either. And then the situation with the rainbow Chad dog is getting really bad, but the cat girl menace has woken up, the one who summons all this shit, and she's trying to fight it, but she can't. And Gunman is like, I need you to become a gun.
So I like how you say Gunman, and we haven't even established him.
He wears glasses, he uses a gun, he's kind of an asshole, but he's not really an asshole because anime.
Yeah, there we go, that's his whole character.
It really is.
And he gets a rainbow gun, he's about to fire it, English shows up, punches him in the dick, it's like, no.
No, because it was very clear that she was turned into a gun against her will, and him firing that gun was going to be bad. I don't know what would have happened, he probably would have died.
Recoil would have knocked him out.
It would have been a bad time. So yeah, she fucking gut elbows him, knocks him out because anime. Nobody.
And she's like, no, Chad Doge is mine. I will kill him alone.
She has been wanting to fight a prisoner for the entire show.
She heard they were very powerful,
and she's like, that's what I'm aiming for. And, yeah. So, she goes all Fist of the North Star on him. And it punches like a machine gun. There are machine gun noises as the punches are happening. And she's literally like, at one point, it fires lasers at the town, and they all get deflected, and it turns out she's literally like flash stepping effectively to each of the lasers and punching them away. Inglis's fucking abilities are hilarious. Her power is so fucking absurd, and it's refreshing. It's refreshing to see this. Essentially, see an Anos who just wants to fight.
Wasn't that what Crowbar Guy wanted?
Well, Crowbar...
I mean, aside from also being a background character.
Crowbar Guy, but Crowbar Guy didn't feel... Well, no, he did, because he fucking did the atomic bullshit. Well, no, because the thing that Crowbar Guy wanted was to be... He wanted to LARP his bullshit fantasies.
Right, he was all about that. I want to dish out justice in the background.
Well, and he also, like, sets up acts, and he lives the character he wants to be, whereas Inglis just wants to fight. Wants to have a good fight, and wants to get better. She's a Goku, whereas...
yeah, even more so with how she kills the fucking Chad Doge.
It's the most Goku! Like, she
launches it into the air and then does the dragon punch.
While firing the Kamehameha into it. And manages to rescue Yua. Thank God.
And then the day was saved, and then she was almost appointed head knight of the Royal Guard, and she was like, no. See you later, king.
But then they give her food anyway, because they blew up the cafeteria, which was the worst. Because her cousin that she never leaves, the one that's her age, they're both just...
They will eat you out of your food.
They are black holes for food. Food just vanishes. Like, they were maids helping to cater a big thing for the Highlander that was showing up, and they were literally eating the food as they were going to deliver it. Like, they're just... It's a dumb trait that's overused, but it's really funny to see it on these two girls. I don't know why. It just makes...
You know, we didn't...
It's a little bit more endearing.
Speaking of that trope, there's a part, when they go to the academy, and... Like, they get raised up on this fucking platform, and the like, heavy gravity, and that the principal's like, dude, anybody who survives gets free food, and she's just like, You said the magic word.
And that's just, yeah, no, it's...
And she keeps fucking throwing these giant crab things out, and the principal's like, look, I will give you the free food, just stop kicking the crabs out.
I'll give you free food for a month. And she's like, me and my friends, she's like, fine, whatever, just stop solving the problem. And pretend like the gravity chamber matters. Stop being a Vegeta. But yeah. English is... Like, I knew a little bit about this going in, that it was like, it's Goku in... it's a girl Goku in medieval fantasy, but like, it's just... It's the best parts of Goku's character, but without like all the baggage that like Super has to bring along, where it's like merchandising.
Alright, so let's throw some numbers at this.
Hell yeah. Plot.
I don't know if I'd rate this plot very high. They're really like there's a whole lot of setup to it, and then nothing nothing comes along.
It's very clear that we're just partway into everything. Like, there's a lot of things that need to be figured out, but I felt like we just got stuck in everything to do with what's her name, Ripple, the cat girl hyena Tyrell Menace. She just becomes the absolute focus of like half of the show, and it gets kind of obnoxious. Because I'm way more interested in... Like, it's interesting to learn how the menaces work, sort of, but... I don't know. There were just more interesting questions that just haven't been answered yet. But, I mean, I felt like it was moving just fine until we got to Ripple's issue.
Yeah, the Academy arc just kind of like slowed everything down. Like,
I would even say the Academy was fine. It was when we got to Ripple, and
that was
became.
That was like 5 minutes into the Academy.
No, because Ripple shows up, but then Ripple comes back, and then she's sick, and then everything just slows to a crawl.
It's like, I guess that's like an episode after the Academy starts.
Either way.
There's that whole training montage where it's like, oh yeah, now she's using gravity magic to run faster than everybody.
Oh god, we didn't even talk about the fucking gym teacher. The man was great. Or the fucking bald... Or what's the bald dude, the gym teacher?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah, he was fucking fantastic. Because you pointed him out, like, immediately. You're like, I want to know what that guy's about. And then he turns out to just be a super musclehead, and he's fucking hilarious.
He just wants to see everybody reach their potential.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, Inglis already has. But yeah,
I at this point I can't see giving it more than a 3.
I was gonna give it a 3. I felt like that was probably the best way to go. Characters.
Oh, they're beautiful. I love them all. Not really. Some of them.
I think the main characters are all well enough fleshed out. I think the blonde girl really got the least. But purple hair and...
I'm not gonna lie, blonde girl, I always get mixed up with the other blonde girl. The one from the beginning.
The menace?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. It was very confusing.
Like, the only way I can tell them apart is I'm looking at these screenshots right now. One of them's got a red cape, the other's got blue ribbons.
Yeah, it's... Well, everyone has the red cape.
Yeah, I know, but that's the only way I can tell those two specific characters apart.
You know, it's a bad time, but, yeah, but I would say cousin, partner, whatever, pretty fleshed out. Inglis, like, probably the best part. Like, thank God she's the best part of the show, because otherwise a lot has to be carried on her fight boner, like, and Lord knows it is huge. It is large, girthy, and in your face, about as much as her boobs are. But
I'd be willing to hit it with a 4, but that's
All
like
right.
the highest I can.
Yeah, that was actually what I was thinking. Because, like, I can't think of any character that's just like, wow, you, I mean, aside from, like, Blonde Girl, like, she didn't get anything. But, like, most of the characters are like, no, you seem fine.
Yeah, everyone had kind of a thing, and the fucking, like, steel-haired gun boy with his glasses and his stupid shit, like, just kind of got, like, a last-minute character swerve that was like, yeah, I guess.
Oh, you're not an elitist asshole. You're just an asshole who wants to protect people.
Great. Yeah, not that great, but, anyway.
All
Animation.
Right. Not great. Like,
It
honestly, I don't think it was that great. I can't remember any of the fights. And then you get all the 3D monsters that just super noticeable.
The 3D monsters were clearly like, well, these have to be fodder, and it's like, we can save money here. And I'm like, you know what? I can't say that I didn't really mind it. Like, I was staring at it, and I'm like, these don't really matter that much. I was more impressed that they drew the dragons.
Well, that was at the beginning, and then, you know, like, they had the budget.
Yeah, well, but they showed up again.
Yeah, they were just reused.
But
they just cut out the the pictures and they slid them around again.
Yeah, no, I would say it, like, the fights felt good. None of them were like, none of them wowed me, except for Baby Laser was hysterical. And it was the absolute last thing I was expecting. I knew a laser was probably going to happen, but just, like, Baby Eye Laser was just like, oh my god. But I don't remember any of the fights being disappointing. They just felt decent.
They were over really fast. Like, the only one that I can think of that lasted quite a while was when English fought the Spear Lady.
Yeah, well, kind of.
I mean, it didn't last like a whole, like, it was like 5 minutes maybe, and it was mostly just her, like, sidestepping until, hey, I'm right next to you.
Yeah, I mean...
But I can't think of any other fights. Like, a lot of the fights just ended really fast, because, I mean, English just punches things and they die.
It is kind of a part of her character that things just end way too fast. But
even then, like even the like the regular animation, like the stuff like they're not fighting or anything, they're just talking or whatever, and it's like that's kind of it looked very like cheap. How do I want to say this?
I mean, it definitely isn't. I mean, there's a lot to be said for, like, I think the art style is honestly really generic, and which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I didn't need the art style to wow me. I just needed, honestly, I just feel a lot of different ways about it, and I felt like there wasn't enough bad for me to sit there and be like, wow, this show's a piece of shit. Like, I honestly felt like I can see where it's like this anime just didn't have the budget to, like, hit us with a ton of Sakuga, but I felt like it used it well enough that it was like, I never felt like the show looked like shit. I just felt like the show just looked like, yeah, these guys just didn't have a lot of money.
And that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, it's just,
and
it definitely feels kind of like a budget anime. But like, yeah,
it doesn't. But it doesn't feel like it's.
It doesn't feel like a really awful budget anime. It just feels like...
you could see where it's like we had to save money, but man, we're gonna do what we can so that at the very least you're not sitting there and thinking like, wow, this is trash. It was fine.
Alright, hit it with a fine 3 then.
Fair enough. Genre strength. Why did I hit that? As a fight anime slash like I would say about 70% of this anime is just cute girls doing cute thing. Well, maybe not 70%. But probably at least half of this show is a moe show. And it's like, it's okay in those moments. Like, I don't think it's all that excellent.
You didn't feel that special.
As a fight comedy anime, this show is fucking hilarious.
I mean, we were laughing at a lot. Like a lot of things that just had to stop. Like, just had to point at it.
It's just the joke of Inglis needing a fight and needing that fight almost more than life itself. And I think by the end it was kind of like, yeah, we get it, but it carried for a good amount. So, as a moe show, I don't think this anime is all that good, but as a fight comedy...
Okay, but what about as an isekai?
I'd rather watch this than most isekai.
Okay.
Like,
that's fair.
Like, most isekai are pretty generic and garbage, so... I mean, I don't know what a good isekai looks like. I don't hear much about, like... I would consider this, if you're going to consider this an isekai, I think this is a good fucking isekai. It's like a fucking... It's like that fucking wrestling one, where it's like, take this concept, inject this stupid concept into this idea, and focus on it. Where, like, Wrestle Isekai is about doing wrestling moves and loving animals. This is about being a fight slut, and I say that
endearingly,
and also with the clarification that I consider Goku to be a fight slut. It's what he lives for. He wants a fight, and he will do anything for it. He needs it. And Inglis needs a fight. Actually, she'll take more than one. All of them. She'll take anybody who'll throw a punch at her. But anyway,
give it a 4. It seemed pretty solid.
That's what I was thinking. We didn't watch dub. Special mention. Fuck.
I want to give it to Yua, but I don't know if that's fair. Because, like, as soon as she showed up, I'm just like, best character. And then she just kept getting better until, like, no, I'm going to call you Boobs, and I'm obsessed with boobs. And I'm like,
I want big, like, the point where it's like, well, I want big boobs. And it's like, yeah.
It's like, okay, you missed. You swung the bat 10 times, you missed once.
Yeah,
Still very good, though. Just slap that fucking demon. Who gives a shit?
I mean...
I don't even know what your power is. She's really good at slapping things.
She just chops things. She just chops. That's why when, like, she got her mana back and she's doing this... I can chop now! It's, I don't know, man. Like...
If she was in more, I feel like we'd have a stronger... I'd have a stronger argument, but, like...
Because for me, it's like... I enjoyed her, but... I adore, how did I already forget her name? I adore Inglis's character. Just all the time, all about the fight, and it will derail. Like, she's just so not here for the plot. Like, she's kind of curious about the plot, but she's like, but I want to be away from the plot.
I only want to be with the plot if there's an ass to kick.
And
If there are no asses to kick, I do not care about the plot.
I do not care about your politics. I do not care about your morals and your reasoning. I am here to kick ass. And that's really it. I am an automated ass kicking machine, and I will point myself in the direction of which there are asses to kick. And God forbid you get in my way when I have an ass to kick.
We can give the bonus point of that. I don't care.
Alright, I'm gonna...
Sassy Lassie wants to kick an assy.
Sassy ass kicking Lassie. I'm gonna honestly hit that with 2 points, not because it was that strong, but because it was that consistent. She was...
I mean, that was the crux of the show.
Yeah, and it carried. Like, it carried impressively well. So that's 16. Which,
That's high. That's pretty good.
wow, we came fucking... Wow, Mega Man did really badly.
Yeah, that second season of Mega Man was
Wow,
bad.
it's lower than Eminence and Shadow.
That's unfortunate.
Well, I think that's because Eminence and Shadow had amazing animation.
That's unfortunate.
And it had a real plot that kept moving forward. Because otherwise it's like... we gave it the same for characters and genre strength, I think. Yeah. It was just... Eminence and Shadow. Eminence and Shadow the Hedgehog. It was just stronger in animation and plot, because it had a better plot. Like it just constantly moved forward. But
yeah.
anyway, yeah, good shit.
Yeah. Okay. See you guys later.
Like,